As tradition, going back to the guild hall before entering the new area. Maybe we'll find out what Lucas has been up to. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about Ivan. Either way, I hope it's quick. Finally going to Sapphire Ridge. Literally the first area in the entire game that I saw, and I can explore it for myself now. Okay, well, not now. I did play through it as part of the usual preparation for the episode, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a pretty great dungeon. I really like the boss. And, a lot of the puzzles. Kind of short, but given that you were doing two other... Oh boy. Second raid. Where's the second raid even going to be at? By the time I had finished Autumn's Fall, I had found the raid island and everything. Is it just going to be the same island? Well, at least I can see the actual end to it this time. Although, maybe more importantly, maybe not do another raid, knowing that the first time it seemed to be set up to capture Leia, or at least somewhat set up for that. Well, being trapped in the game, don't really have too much else to do. But Sergei coming in, kind of realizing the same thing. Yep, the security, the raid system. Okay, I didn't realize that was the reason why that was. I just thought it was, you would know exactly where Leia was to be able to capture her. Yeah. It makes me feel kind of bad that I've been spending all this time going around and getting chests, knowing that the entirety was not actually waiting on Sergei to come up with something. It was waiting for Leia to be able to get to Sapphire Ridge. Oh, that's not going to stop me from messing around despite that. Also, it is kind of interesting that Lucas has not been seen for quite a while. It makes me wonder if that is supposed to be a plot point right now. Maybe there's something where he had his character banned or something to make it so that you couldn't, that there weren't two versions of him in the game at the same time between him and his Evotar. Well, it could also be that, you wouldn't be able to see that as a player, but you would probably be able to see that if you were looking at the server end of stuff pretty easily. It seemed like everybody else that we saw in the Vermilion Wasteland would be somebody that you wouldn't know was missing from the game otherwise. This has mostly just been the guild here. And a couple of sort of characters like Cat in the car. Well, that's fine too. That's fine too because, hey, like I was saying, I want to get to Sapphire Ridge. Even though, knowing how it went last time, it also would be exploring that area and then probably doing it. What's that face? Yeah, so it's just chock-a-block full of bugs then. I already know about the Arantarda, and also about everything else in there. I told you, I played through it already. But, not really sure why that's the place they decide to be the bug area. Though every other area was kind of a bug area in one way or another. Well, anyway, let's get on to this, finally. Finally, there's the eastern exit. Teleporter right next to it. Shove that shade right into those posts, and I'm doing it. Finally doing it. And yes, there is an extra area over there. What? This was... They never did this in any one of the other areas, and there's the last chest that I was looking for. In some ways, I am frustrated about that, but in other ways, fine, whatever. At least I know where that final chest is. And then, same thing with Sapphire Ridge, but at least there wasn't a shade gate stopping me from getting that golden chest. Very nice area. Always at night. Got a nice, like, a bamboo, bluegrass type of stuff going on. And giant bugs. I mean, you saw the giant bug when it was panning over. You just started it, didn't you? You didn't even attack it because, trust me, I would know if you attacked it. I'll give her a little bit because I do want to kind of showcase what these enemies are capable of, which is something. I was saying last time, the difficulty does really step up in this place, and that... Well, here, let's just see it right now. So obviously, being purple, it's a moon bug, it has... a moon beetle, has a wave, and... yeah, it immediately transforms into this thing. And these things are, like, for real. To the point that I actually decided to finally learn, like, parrying timing and everything like that. Haven't quite gotten it. Also, gonna watch out for that, because it does shock you, and that goes through your... There we go. Yeah, like learning parry and counter timing and everything, just because these guys are so difficult. And that very first move they do when you first fight them, and they jump at you. Red, so fire. Same sort of deal. That will prevent them from being hit by a lot of attacks that you have. These guys got a counter type of deal, and the ability to hit you from the back. But hey, at least I got this. And that can take them out pretty quickly. Of course, the first few times that I was fighting these things were just ridiculous. Okay, well, I guess we're also going to be fighting this thing. The Panza? Sure, the shock and ice. We're going to go shock, of course. And they are mostly invincible unless you're hitting them from the side. Some cool abilities, too, with these whole, like, warp cores. With these whole, like, wave cores. Don't stand next to them when you break them. That will get you killed. As well as the bombs and everything. They're kind of the more rough and tough enemies. I would compare them to the cows from the previous areas. But no, those beetles are the ones that are really difficult to take care of. You can't just... Up until this point, it's been just purely tanking my way through everything. And although these guys will jump out of most attacks I do, I won't be able to jump out of this. Good stuff. And that is a good strategy for taking care of a lot of the non-activated beetles. When they go into warrior mode, it becomes a little bit more rough. Thankfully, the melee attack does work pretty well for this. I'm going to try to go for a counter again. I do have the timing down pretty well. But I also don't want them to... Yeah, never mind then. I don't have the timing down pretty well. But I also don't want them to, you know, hit me with lightning when I'm trying to dodge around their stuff. The other major gimmick of this area is that you can go into the bamboo in specific spots. Otherwise, it is just a solid area. And you can even see that there's, like, jumpable bamboo there. Which I'm sure is probably possible, but seems unlikely. Yeah, going over here is mostly just to see that there is a switch. And that's going to be coming up a little bit later on. Also get a whole bunch of the final types of attacks that we're going to be seeing in the game. But one of the things that I haven't said just yet, probably the best way to deal with these guys is with the wave. Ah, nope, didn't get both of them there. Good. Nah, I didn't quite get it though. Yeah, wave is pretty. It hits a lot and they really can't do too much of anything. Really don't want to try to dodge that one. Everything else I can go for. Even getting the good. Yeah, even getting the guard on the big slash from the sun beetles does still do a lot of damage. But anyway, yeah. Wave, if you can get them all in here, it's a lot of hits, and they can't quite transform and start ruining your day. Even though it's not going to take them out instantly as it does with the ice version of that. The ice version, it's also way easier to have enemies just kind of get, not hit all of the enemies that you possibly can, which is sort of important to making sure that they're not going to be attacking you. This is also another good way to deal with them. You gotta make sure that they transform first. And then... Oh, come on, I should have got that. Oh no, I was gonna say that I should have got the counter there. But yeah, this sort of thing, you can chill them pretty easily. You can deal a lot of damage just from the ice spikes alone. Actual strategies in CrossCode, because up until this point, haven't really been doing too much as far as you know, really trying to exploit the guarding, parrying system and everything like that. Just face tank your way through everything. It worked. It was entirely functional. The game, though, at this point, is finally forcing me to get good. Something that I was wondering if it was ever going to happen. Here, let's just go with a traditional fight against this guy. So I can get my... No, never mind then. We're going to go for a non-traditional fight. There. Eat it. And then here is... Well, first off, the only thing that I can see that this thing does is give you an achievement. There is no cow level, is specifically what it says, but I still was wondering if there was going to be something else going on. And then this is your hub area. It's not a very fleshed out one. It's actually very small, but it is still your hub. You get all your standard NPCs, traders, selling stuff, everything like that. I don't actually know if that's how that works. Well, yeah, that too. Or, you know, the game developers are just big fans of the whole impassable tree forest thing. There's the Omega version of it there. Yeah, it is not a large area, but that's because you are about to be going for... there we go. You are about to be getting into Rhombus Square right after this. That said, I'm still going to do a little bit of an exploration around, so I can kind of get everything taken care of. And also just get a little bit more practice against the moon beetles and everything. Good. I do like seeing that, yeah, the Monkey King we saw last episode does have some very similar moves to this, where he does the jump back and then come up, you know, like run up and slash. So I guess he's from this area? It is in the east, I suppose. Yeah, that was a bad one. Oh well, just mash on this. Even if you're not going to be going for like parrying and melee sort of tactics, still takes care of him just fine. Take that, Buggins. Yeah, I feel like Emily, as soon as she tried to attack one of these things, she'd be a lot more okay with the entire deal. Because they just kind of look like a warrior, armored warrior dudes, rather than being like traditional Buggins. They're just Buggins right at the start. Can I get all three of these guys? Probably not. Yeah, and then he hits me out of getting the full combo. Oh well, at least if I am just careful here. Come on now. Nah. Well, I got the regular hit, but that's not good enough. I want to do better than that. So yes, I think I was saying a little bit before, but didn't really actually get to it, that I do also have a character, knowing how difficult this area is. I have also already, you know, saved the character from the practice run here, where I got all the chests, I did the quests, well, the quest, and I am prepared up for some of the increasing amounts of trials and tribulations. Specifically, the boss of this area is very, very rough. So I wanted to make absolutely... Oh, I still got hit by that. The slowdown is kind of messing up my timing. Not that I was very good at it in the first place. But yes, I am going to have like a... Here, I can actually see the save file right now. Level 55, right there. Really buffed up from my equipment and everything, too. I got a lot of defense, and I got a lot of preparation. This is going to be one stomping of a boss fight, I'd like to think. But we'll see that when I get there. In the meantime, yeah, get over here. I want to take Tron as well, because I want to keep it at least... I practice a lot for this area, as I'm sure you can probably tell. So I want to keep it simple. Oh. Well, yes, and here's the Iron Tarda, which apparently are actually more of like the Goomba type of enemies of these areas, to the moon beetles and the panzas and everything. They're less impressive than they were, needless to say, back in the Villa of Terror. If I do a level 3 on these guys, it's actually pretty easy to take them out, but no, but they also appear in very large groups, so you can just do that really to take out huge groups of them with absolutely no problem. Still would not recommend letting them get off their cold attack, though. And yeah, as one of the items says for these blue crystals, apparently cobalt crystals are the reason why this is called Sapphire Ridge. I would have thought it was the permanent night sky, giving a nice blue hue to everything. You know, like when you have a particularly large full moon and that. I'm surprised that Emily is not saying more. I kind of thought that she would have more to say about... Ah, yeah, cobalt crystal right there. I'll look at it real quick, why not? Yeah, I should just have this sorted by rarity, really. Makes it much easier to find stuff. And then, not the elemental DNA. Well, I said it was making it much easier to find stuff. I guess I lied. Cobalt crystal. Name giver of Sapphire Ridge, extremely durable. We'll use that for some of the stuff that you'll be creating later on, but... They're easy! Okay, when the Iron Tarda, of course, nothing? Maybe they look enough like little rhinos, you know, being rhino beetles, that they're not that bad. Wait, this was the wrong element. Or maybe it was just the fact that I fought these ones first. Good, and like I said, that does, you know, 4 hits with these guys being so grouped up. I'll just hit the one, leaving Emily to deal with it herself. Still have the same abilities as before, but it's really not all that much of a difference. And oh yes, another little gimmick that you'll see in one of these caves. The catapults, as you remember, except they're kind of not as good. Well, I mean, they work for some respects. Just because they aren't tossing out bombs doesn't mean that they don't. Come on. 2, 1. Can't get hit by that. Just because they're not tossing out bombs does not mean that they're not still performing their duties as I need them to. 2, 1. Good. I mean, naturally, you can also even see it on the map when you're looking upwards. Spider chasm. Maybe she's okay with like arthropods. Just insects are the problem. No, that's not true at all. This looks like some place that I should be fighting something, but it's not. No, I think this area just exists to give you a few chests. And, you know, let you buff out your botanics collection. By the way, on that other character, I don't have every single botanical item. I'm still missing the final magic sprout that I don't remember what they're called. The sprout of something. Space, truth, spirit, soul, maybe? Nah, spirit would be too similar to soul. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's probably in the rhombus square. Because after this, I got all 4 elements. We're finishing up the Operation Trackwalker and the like. So that means that I am going to be able to get in there and get all of the ultimate endgame super equipment or whatever. I don't know. I haven't actually gone in there myself just yet, so whatever it is. Yeah, very nice. I love it when you guys do that. So yeah, whatever is supposed to be in there, I guess I'll be seeing soon enough. At the end of the episode, certainly. Yeah, the only thing that we were told was that they're... yeah, that's why I wanted to do that. Come on. Oh, don't go after her. Go after me so I can get the cool... Good. So I can get the cool parries. Yeah, we're just going to keep continuously fighting bugs. I mean, I was doing it before. Why not continue to do it right now? See? They're done. They're easy. They are very simple to take out. Don't have to worry about it at all. Also, they're more like... They're not really that much buggy. Yeah, here's where we get the actual tutorial on this. But, I mean, you know, it's not... I've seen the catapult... Whoops. Didn't really dodge out of that one in time. I've seen the catapult type of enemy before. Enemy, friend, auto turret. So it's not entirely unusual to figure out what they're going to be doing. Besides, it gives you plenty of warning just by telling you exactly what it is. Either way. The Omega one. Those Omega crystals are actually pretty difficult to find. They are well hidden. Not that need to worry about that because, like I said, I always do the botanic stuff off screen, so it's. Try that again. Oh, come on, it's right there. I always do the botanic stuff off screen, so it doesn't really even make that much of a difference. Oh, I was hoping to get some cool environmental kills there. It's a rare one. I mean, I guess they are. Even though this is supposed to be more of like like bug area. I don't know. I guess, hey, chitin is kind of like armor. That's the justification that I would use. Oh yeah, this area, nesting grounds. You can't really do anything with that yet. That's for one of the quests they're going to be doing. I think literally if you just walk over there, it's just an empty hallway and nothing else. Now, I do want to go... Oh yeah, I should probably go do the rest of that eroded passage stuff. Doing the carved pathway is going to be helpful. All of this stuff is going to be helpful for the eventual quest that you got to do in this area. So it is entirely worthwhile to check around here, see what's going on. To at least have it open for later. This whole thing. Pretty big thing to go get a chest. So, I mean, I'm just glad that I don't have to do it right now. Also, many crystals. Oh boy, this is a pretty rough jump, but there you go. And of course, it took me a very, very, very long time because I guess my monitor is just dark to see that there's a path right here. That's how you're actually supposed to do it. It wasn't clear. You know, I could just open up these chests considering that I do already have all the footage now for them being done. Nah. I'll keep it. Even in the face of the final parts of... No, not her. Yeah, there we go. Even in the face of the final parts of the CrossCode saga, I will stick to the formula as I know it. One. Throw that open too. But yeah, there's still some areas where you can use that sort of Come on now. There's still some areas where you can use that sort of exploitation to roll around on places. Although even after opening this up, oh yeah, let's just open this up. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, wait, do I still have to do that as I did before? No, the answer is no. I just thought for some reason that I looked at it wrong, basically. Yeah. The one spider was blocking me. I guess that was the tank spider. I was actually informed last time that apparently the Zoe character from... Oh, the spider was down here. Apparently the Zoe character that I saw at the entrance to Grand Kriskaho is apparently a reference to League of Legends, speaking of traditional tanking duties and everything. I did not know that. There we are. So I guess maybe it was put in as a reference by the developers. Maybe it was a super fan that added them in as a backer character. But either way, I guess the hair is pretty unmistakable from what I understand. Still got one more shade left. Come on. I guess I was told that you do have to do one major quest in this area before you can have it fully completed. But at the same time, oh, come on. You would think that the Star Shade opening up the level 3 combat arts and everything would be the last one that you got. I suppose not, though. Now, is this the... No, this is the old dojo. Just to torture Emily a little bit more. Oh, come on. You're clearly getting used to it at this point. Well, if you don't want to fight me, that's... If you want to fight me from off screen, that's fine too. Look, we gotta do it for 100% completion. Yes, thank you, Leah. I mean, with the electric bugs, yes. And so I'll be coming back there later. A lot of chests still to get around here, but of course, that's as I was saying, being saved for later. Yep, just more of the bugs, and there is this one area down here that I should go check out. It does have, I mean, it's not necessary to do anything, but it is, you know, a lot of goodies in there. Well, there are a lot of bugs here, let me tell you. Oh, I was hoping to get the combat art. Oh, is it now? I think your definition of over is not going to be aligning with mine all that much. Good, and one decent counter, even on a chilled enemy, which is pretty difficult to do. Also, shock therapy. No, this would be immersion therapy. Totally different sort of thing. All I need to do, from what I remember, is kind of solve a little bit of a devious puzzle where you have to hit things simultaneously, which is, as always, easier said than done. But hey, I can get it done right now, even though it's just to open up an area that doesn't really make too much of a difference. There, and there you are. Accomplished that one actually pretty well. Now, in a forced fight of few in this area, but they do appear occasionally. So much time spent grinding up against those bugs. Not only for the sake of getting used to their attacks, but also just for the sake of grinding. Because, you know, that was the... I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be dying to them constantly, because their attacks do a lot of damage. I mean, I'm sure you saw, you know, taking the guarded hit from the sun beetle. That was still almost enough to kill me. It's, those things are deadly. Very deadly, especially in, like, large groups where you're fighting 3-4 of them at a time. That's why I usually like just blitzing them down with my combat arts. And you do otherwise get attacked by these guys. They're forced fights as soon as you walk up here, which is unfortunate. Oh, I don't have any SP. Do it. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna go for that instead. Let's fight something else. The only thing in here are yes, exactly. The only thing in here are bugs. There's only so much I can do as far as... I still love the fact that even despite the fact that there's cutscenes, you can still walk through them. That is a good little, I don't know. Keep that in mind for later. Anyway, okay, let's go back to the cave-in already. I didn't know you could hit that. Big think. I've been following you around this entire journey, and I can tell you, you just like sitting on tables. Gotta be true to yourself. Very low expectations for entertainment, but sure. I can't believe that there was an end to this quest line. Not really. I mean, I would say that she just realized what was in her the entire time. Not a true quest, but the fact that there was any sort of resolution to that is incredible. Oh boy, this quest. You can see a Vacker item you get as one of the feet. We'll be seeing a little bit more of that later on. Nothing new. I've actually gotten the achievement now for eating all of the food types in Crossworlds. So apparently there wasn't actually all that much more after I got like the 1-up, after I got the last meal. We've already found out that they don't do credit trading anymore. That was that used to be a thing that the Omni Gliders were doing. Also, talking about the parkour thing last time, kind of dropped the whole Omni Glider plotline too, which is... And maybe we'll see that a little bit more in Endgame, but it seemed like they were having some sort of megalomaniacal grand deal going on to like take over all of the guilds of Crossworlds. Oh, that's an important chest, but not one that I'm going to be messing around with right now. It's still a chest. Still a chest, and you can't go get chests at this point in the game. Gotta wait until later. All the traders. Bunch of guys. Scouting visor. But I am happy to report that it is not a Dragon Ball Z reference. I think. Well, anyway, let's get on with the quest here. As always, you gotta go back to the hub, whatever it might be in each one of the areas to start this thing up. You got anything? By the way, I hope you like the gerund puns, because pretty much everybody here is also a big fan of them, given how they name their children. Also, Cave In. I don't know why they decided to go with a bunch of grown-worthy newspaper comic puns at this point in time, but, well, there's also been a lot of references to other things, so did I really not see that coming? You got anything to say? Why can't I go down into the basement? I mean, calm and peaceful with just the largest bugs you've ever seen. Tell that to Hollow Knight. Yes, I have noticed it. Yes, who could you possibly be talking about? After I jumped into the abyss like 3-4 times trying to talk to them in the last episode. Here's a person that has the quest. At least you gonna like not talk to me if I got somebody else on the thing. Yeah, okay. Because the first time I did this, I did it solo, so I guess that makes sense. Oh yes, of course, you. Now I know that I am going to be doing this in the other quest line and everything. I just felt like talking to him first anyway because I like his design. Well, I'm only missing one at this point, so... And I guess he was growing those there? I don't know. A little balcony. Oh, come on. If you're going to give somebody this sort of a get-up, you could at least change up their avatar. I mean, they're basically about the same as this. Got the quest hub, got a bunch of traders. You know how it goes. Yes. Anything else to be said? No, I mean, there's still a couple more areas around here. There's that Baxton Addy guy talking a little bit more about the problems with Henry. Going to be dealing with him soon enough, but I can already spoil a little bit of this right now because this is not too well hidden, let me tell you. You can't interact with it even after you take the quest, but I'm sure it will come up a little bit later in there. Sure. I can understand that. It's the spiders around here. I can see the spider webs. I mean, I would think you'd take pride in your inn. Unless you're just doing this here because, hey, we're the only game in town. Ah, not a viewable bookcase? Usually you get that. Yes, I'm well aware. Yeah, you can also just go down south immediately, but basically the innkeeper wanted you to talk to her grandma. Why not? Okay, well that's pretty much everything for that area, so... No, first floor, ground floor, that's what I mean. You can even see like the 2 connections at the very bottom. It's very simple to do, but why not get the full experience of doing it for the first time? Anything to say? No, nothing. Okay. And the music abruptly cuts out. Ominous. Vagabond. Are you a reference to that comic that I have never read? You know, to be honest, I think that the last achievement that I got for completing, like, beating up the ape, for example, was 13% or so. So not entirely inaccurate. Most people don't have the gumption to be able to play a 70-hour game like this. Yes, of course. I mean, it's to unlock the dojo, basically. To prove yourself. I already found all of them. Already found that final area, and I already found all of the areas that I'm going to need to go into to get these golden bugs. Boy, if Emily doesn't like fighting these things, I'd imagine carrying one around in her pocket is not going to be very pleasant either. Carrying around a pocket, carrying around the key thing. Don't really know how that works. Oh, don't worry about it. I already found out about all of that. I made sure to be very comprehensive in my exploration before doing this. Well, you're not going to like where this is going. And for some reason, this is viewable as a berry tree. The other trees are not viewable as berry trees. Why is that one special? To be honest, I have no idea. I can't answer that question. But anyway, I could run him over there, but let's go for a more traditional route and then beat up some more bugs just to irritate my partner. They are pretty fun. I was just saying that it's like the difficulty increase is something that I am happy to see. Right. That guy will parry you. You gotta watch that. No! Observe! Oh, I thought there was one that appeared down here. Here, check this out. Now check this out. Why? Once again, just a lot of torturing the people that I have to work with for no real reason. Catch the golden bug 6 times. It's not difficult, but it is... Well, I mean, it's going to hide in one of the corners, basically, each time. This thing is named Frank. Just want to make sure that I point that out. It is, you can see it kind of shuffling around through the bamboo, but you can also see it when it is in one of the corners too. There's that. And of course it is going to be going like up and down basically constantly. So kind of make sure, you know, to have like the longest path possible, because that's the sort of game we play in here. Another one. Like all the way down here. Yeah, you can also see that it just sort of fades into existence when it is in its position, when it's in position. Still not the most difficult of anything. No, there it is. Knew it was going upwards and not know how far. And do remember that there are those electro gates on top there too, because that does... Wait, what? I failed that? Well, fine. I guess we're doing a little bit of cutting here. There. Trying to making me do this multiple times. And thankfully you don't have to fight it. Which seems like the sort of thing that you would do to finish up that quest, but I guess not. I don't know. I mean, I am pretty well prepared at this point to be fighting any one of those bugs, but sure. And there we go. You didn't want to go in there. Now you love it. You refuse to leave. Anyway. Okay, easiest one to get to next is probably going to be over in the bug cave. The nesting grounds. You know, getting some more Hollow Knight references, as it were. It is the time for those references, I guess. Still got Silk Song coming out soon. Especially after playing this very, very long game, I don't know if I'm ready to start up another very long one, but knowing that there is... Yeah, and you just couldn't pass through that before that. But knowing that there is going to be I guess she is okay with spiders. Never mind then. But knowing that there is going to be another poll that I'm going to be making after this, I guess I don't really get to choose exactly what games I'm going to be playing. No, here, just go for this. This is actually I mean, it's like, oh, the numbers are going to be even greater. It's like, no, they're not. In fact, it's going to be like super simple to just do this over and over. And then this. And this I did even without Emily, by the way. So yeah, the numbers growing even greater is not as much of a thing as you might think. I guess if you were kind of going a little bit slowly, I do believe that they start to spawn faster over time, but not that fast. I guess maybe if I wasn't going for, I wasn't going for 100% completion, as always, it might be a little bit different of a story. And especially if I didn't have a second party member here, too. Could be a tad more difficult, but like a tad. Yeah, and I do think that there is an infinite version of this too. Probably going to be doing that for a quest, as a lot of the mini games do. So, wouldn't really surprise me at all. Okay. Just gotta make sure that I don't get elemental overloaded here. I mean, see, it's slow enough that I don't even have to worry too much about that. I can just do this to take him down instead. Full minute and a half of this whole malarkey. Oh, come on. I was going to do the lightning strike. Or whatever the equivalent Spheromancer thing is. There, and I guess there is also like another area going up here too that there might be. Oh, let's be at least slightly cautious, I suppose. I can't just ignore these guys. And there you go. You level for your efforts, and I guess that would be a good place to also like level up to if you know, I didn't very quickly start to lose experience on every enemy as you gain levels. Like at level 55, as you saw on that other thing that I was doing, I don't know if I would actually get anything from, like, I would get a single experience point, and and if I was doing that, I might as well just go fight a bunch of the hedgehogs like that one guy was doing. See, it worked. And you did not trust me. Just take out one of these guys first. Or both of them. No, that works too. Oh, come on now. Well, anyway, the real thing that I'm going to is trying to get over to the lake and then doing the Trial of Patience. Which, like I said, I didn't realize you could actually hit that one... the one, bamboo deal. Nah, I'm not even gonna bother. this. We're just gonna go. Lose aggro as soon as you walk through the areas anyway. So yeah, let's see if I can kind of speed this up and not learn anything from the Trial of Patience. Yes, this is a great idea. I'm sure that there will be absolutely no consequences coming from it. Why would there be? Clearly my resourcefulness is what should be rewarded. Fills up, flow out. Oh wait, no, I want to see. Ah, dang it! I wanted to see what the thing was. "12 times. Then you hit the switch. Oh, come on. All right, fine. Practice your patience one more. So yeah, I was wondering if that was maybe like the speedrun tactic. Yeah, just sit back and relax. Reminds me of a very similar sort of bit. Reminds me of a very similar sort of bit in one of the Mario and Luigi games. Was that 13? I think that was actually 12. Ah, dang it. No, I am not going to do that, in fact, because there is additional dialogue for this, so I'm going to go do that instead. Yeah, I guess you can actually do it when the armor is asleep. So yeah, why did that one get special treatment compared to a lot of the other alternate dialogues in the game? Because I don't know, I thought it would be amusing. Perform my own trial of patience. Why not? Also, I do agree with Jarn. It is very relaxing. It is a nice, good... Wait a second, did I not... I don't think I talked to the guy. Whoops. It is a nice, relaxing thing. I mean, I was talking about specifically Bowser's Inside Story for one of the Mario and Luigi games. Okay, no, I did. Because that one had a point where... What was it? To fix Bowser's back or... Something that made very little sense in that way. You had to, like, drill into his spine for 5-10 minutes. There's a way that you can just type in a code and bypass all of that, but I did the traditional style, and I just sat there and waited for it to finish. And it was relaxing. You know, close your eyes, sit back, relax, strap on your seatbelt. Where am I actually going right now? Oh, I just have the trial of agility now. Yeah, I guess that would be the only one. Carved pathway, so it's actually very close to where I was just at. Good, 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 good. All right. Right here. And this one, I don't know if it's really all that much of a trial of agility or a trial of error. Trial and error. Simply follow this bug. Is the bug named Frank? Yes, it is. Boop. Well, don't worry. We're going to be doing this anyway. Yes, and the whole trickery here is that it will occasionally create, I don't know, after images of itself, I guess you could call it. And those things, if you pick the wrong one, which I'm going to try to avoid doing, no promises, will get you attacked instead. I mean, basically, it will just aggro all of the enemies around you because there are a lot in this area. There are a lot to be aggroed. Nope, almost messed up that jump. Needless to say, the more difficult one, or the one that's kind of like running away from you more than towards you. Unless this is... Nope, that was wrong. Never mind then. I was entirely incorrect about that. It was, in fact, this one the entire time. Perspective. Once again, still doing me in more than maybe any enemy in the game. Any me. Yes. And that one, like, there's not really too much I could do to not be aggroing those guys. I didn't really think about it, but you would have had to complete that sort of trial anyway. You know, hitting the two switches at the same time to actually make it work in the first place. To actually get through this area in the first place as well. Boy, I just chose all the wrong ones, didn't I? Oh well. Walking through a door makes you lose aggro. It's fine. And I think I'm just going over here, if I'm remembering the road correctly. Good. I would prefer to not have to fight literally everything. And all the way back to the beginning of the area. Again, not... I guess the bug was agile. I don't know if I would say that tested anything on my own. Well, whatever. That's everything. Including the great trial of patience. I could have also tried to see if there were unique dialogues for having two different party members. Having, like, solo Jorn is kind of weird, because I feel like I have the least relation to him compared to any of the other potential party members that I could have. Besides, you only had to hit it 12 times. It wasn't wait until it stopped or something. Yes, and this is why I have that prepped up save file. And go to the old dojo. Remember what you learned. Patience is a virtue. I guess you can just do that. Why not? All right, let's go load up the current save file, and you will see what a true Spheromancer looks like. Although I suppose I should probably, like, had this thing last teleported over here first. Not that it really matters. Did I not complete the... Did I not finish the last little part of the... Okay, give me 1 second. All right, there we go. It is, in fact, open now. Well, I just think I switched to Wave. Even though I thought it was going to be the Electro bugs first. Oh, he actually still managed to hit me, though. Not that it really matters. Can I get him? Oh, wait, no, that was the wrong... I did the... That was the wrong attack that I did. Whatever, that's enough to heal me out pretty well, though. I don't need elements to be able to take you guys out. Although I would very much like them right now. Good. It's still a pretty minimal amount of damage to be taken. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Ah, dang. I'll at least take out those guys. And then this will take out this guy. Easy. All of my practice paid off. Wait, you were here the entire time? Yeah, come on. No, not at all. Not when it comes to the buggins. I am very well prepared for anything that you're going to throw at me with that. Oh, hey, guys. Yes. The ultimate. The final. I'm ready. Maybe I should have actually buffed up once first. You know, for something. Like at least throwing down one of the meals, for example. Neat. Maybe just go for a... I don't know what's gonna be like the... Maybe just go for, like, electricity. If I can snatch him in my melee hit, that's probably gonna be the most effective thing. Ah, come on. Gotcha. Gotcha. Very nice. It's like the Iron Knight Alon going on here. And it is actually pretty... Yeah, you do get a pretty good amount of time before he actually hits you with that final attack, so... Hey, do you mind trying to have my one up here? Good and good. A legitimately tough battle, let me tell you. Which is why I wanted to make absolutely sure that I was very much prepared for this. Okay, yeah, from what I remember, that final hit, much like the other bugs, does in fact do a lightning hit on you, which means you can't just parry it like I would like to. At least I got the regular attack. Okay, whatever. Just hitting him with a regular melee attack, I think, is just the more effective way to do it either way. Legendary Brute? Wonder what that was. Ooh, you are going real tricky. That said, check out these cool hits. Would still like to get like a couple more counters, but somehow I have my doubts that that's going to happen in that way. That said, this is going much better than the first time that I fought this guy. Check it. What a good fight on that. All of my training paid off. Twilight Shard, which I can use to make a pretty decent weapon, if I remember correctly. Like, not even best you, but just stomp you for the most part. Can also dodge around each one of those, each one of the big slashes that he does and everything like that too. But you know what's way cooler? Doing all those parries. And of course, it is a dungeon ending. Kind of. Kind of? Follow, come on. Like, you... Sure. Again, maybe a legitimate speedrunner. No. You scrub magic classes. Oh no, she's got the yandere eyes. Well, yeah, I mean, he was just a dude. I think he was wearing 4 bugs, though, which is maybe more disturbing in some way. Making him like Darth Bane, which is a... Yeah, there you go. Which is always one of my favorite, most ridiculous Star Wars things, with his crazy bug force armor. Apparently that wasn't even like an intentional thing, according to the lore. He just kind of had like a bunch of bugs attached to him. He's like, ah, I guess it's armor now. Hooray! And that's it for Crossworlds. Yeah, I know, right? You know, really? I guess when they said that there wasn't a final dungeon to the game, that was, I don't know what to think. Maybe that was even referring to another thing. I have no idea, to be honest. Yeah, exactly, Emily. Yeah. Until then, you can create like 5 different characters that you can run through all at the same time. There's something about that phrase. That's going to be the thumbnail for the episode. Yes. Hey, come on. They're getting better at it. There have been a lot better early access games coming out as of recent. Also, it's not like this game does not have an ending. It just does not have an ending for Crossworlds. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's right. I sure did. Yeah, maybe DLC or something, but for all I know, the way that Chapter 10 is going to be going is to just, like, go real wacky crazy with everything that's happening. That's the final shade, but then also there is some more stuff to Sapphire Ridge. There's like more chests that I've been missing and everything like that, as well as Rhombus Square. So I'm gonna at least check out Rhombus Square immediately, and then check out what the rest of Sapphire Ridge is. But everything else, like Sergey is talking about right now, find the hideout, is, I'm gonna save for next time. Yes, I'm sure. 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks. Hey, you guys got anything? Nope. But hey, at least I can actually go to Rhombus Square now, which should be easy to enter from any one of these things. Yep, and that's also every area now open to me. Yeah, it just looks like the tutorial dungeon in a lot of ways. No real surprise on that, though. Shopping district or residential area. Residential area, I'm betting, is probably where... they sure are. I don't know what that even means. EXP booster, item booster. The sort of thing that probably would have been very useful prior to this point, but, you know. Yes, and there's also more stuff going on there. And there's also going to be more stuff going on there, too, because I'm missing a whole lot of chests. I don't know, in some ways I think that would be a little bit more comforting, because you'd be floating. You know, with anti-gravity and everything like that. Also, yes, more, more, like, resolution to NPC stuff. World map. Like a little harbor over here and everything, too. Of course, there's only 2 actual areas to go to. South Arch. Then there's the residential one. Whatever residential means for a video game. Well, I guess for Leah. See, a total of 8 chests in here. I'm gonna guess this might just be the single South Arch thing, or it might be both of them. Yes, of course. You just immediately die. That's how it works when you walk onto a road. I do like that everything has a very rhombus type of aesthetic to it, including the trees, which are looking very Super Paper Mario. Who's even driving these cars? Forget about that. Yo. I did. Mutin Smithy. Are these like light sources or something? Huh. Finally, get the final entry on that. At least I think that's final entry. Well, let me actually see real quick. Yeah, it is. Well, I guess I'll see a little bit more of that soon enough. Well, I'll get to that when I'm collecting chests. Anyway, let's actually go check around some of the other areas here. I'm sure it's very large. Kuntabunt. Yeah, of course. So, what was the Do Not Disturb guy the only one that I could actually disturb? Oh, come on now. I feel a little bit cheated out of some great bothering people experiences because of that. Yeah. I said my bit on fishing before. Olo? Coming soon, the Omni Gliders. Hey, so they did get their own area. I guess that is something of a... Yeah, they're building it right now, I guess. So I guess that is something of a resolution to their story, that they were successful or something. I don't know. It is not clear. So many other areas kind of blocked off, though. Obviously, I think the real interesting thing is going to be... Oh, there is one more area that I can get into, it looks like. I'll do it later. During the exploration and the like. But yeah, I think the shopping district is going to be the place where there's all the really good stuff. Putting up statues here and everything. Well, I mean, I haven't beaten the game just yet, which is why I don't really feel too bad about it. There's still going to definitely be more. But there's still like the raids and everything. Yeah, like draw a little picture. And then I can't actually go any farther in here. Great. You guys got nothing. Is this open? No, nothing's open. Just kind of curious as to what that is now. Anyway. Apparently I can go enter one of the buildings down here, but I'm going to have to kind of look at which one that actually is. So yeah, this is pretty much just more or less fleshed out version of the... This is more or less just like a fleshed out version of the tutorial area. I guess I couldn't really expect anything else because that was kind of what that was presented as in the first place. Still gonna have all the end game stuff though and everything, so I'm gonna want to check out all of that like right now. Now, anything? Nah, you guys gotta get more dialogue around here. I want to learn about all the lore and stuff. Is that the... That's a character from a Ouya game? At least I remember seeing random access memories, if I'm remembering correctly. I haven't actually like looked at anything with that game. I just recognize the character because it's a very memorable type of design. Huh. That's interesting. What are you? Backer character, perhaps? Oh, cat in the car. Well, I do know exactly what I'm going to be looking for here. And maybe like some of the other logs, but, you know. Oh, okay, Veldstock. Yes, so the final... Look at it. Huh. Okay, so the final quest coming up from him then. Which is something that, yeah, I mean, I couldn't find him all the way back in the previous area, so I assumed that he was going to be hanging around in here. However, books and worms. However, not just yet. A little bit later on, as always. Kind of a unique looking NPC, but I guess not one that has anything to say. Boy, this is a large area. Which is to be expected, but still. Oh, I guess it's the rhombus square flag. Why not? Just a rhombus. It's very utilitarian, sort of like a Switzerland type of deal. No, nothing. Literally nothing at all? Oh, I guess it's just an entrance to the roof. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine then. The arena. I mean, I can take a guess right now, but obviously not something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. Nice music. Completion rate. I mean, is there a... Because the cat in the car stuff is never actually counted. on the completion of stuff. Fine, just tell me about, like, cups for right now. 2 ways, individually. Okay, so that's kind of what I expected to be. Just sort of like a fight all the enemies type of things. I guess you do get to use a lot of your... Oh, and it's ranked, too. Oh, boy. Not worth it, I'm gonna say. Sure. Yeah, and I guess it is fighting a bunch of regular enemies. This is a faction rookie cup. Silver, gold, and then there is also apparently platinum hits. Oh boy. 1 minute. Oh man. Oh man. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a whole lot of this. It seems like it's just probably for like something that I don't have to do unless I was going to be... Oh boy. Is that going to be like future content too? Yeah, it's probably just for getting like stuff. Yep. This looks like stuff. Killing dress? Knocking one? I guess it's gonna be like good equipment, but still. Yes, of course. I know the feeling. And I can go like chow down on a whole bunch of stuff right now. But like I don't really use too much of the like minor equipment is the thing. Still gotta go figure out what that is. I don't use too much of like the minor consumables, so I still got a whole ton of those. And now that I've kind of eaten everything in the game and gotten the achievement for that, I might as well just go sell them. There's one more. Oh, and I guess this is it. Oh, okay, so it's not actually all that large. Because that's really all you got. Clothes? What do you guys even got here? Just kind of the same thing that they had in the previous areas now. No surprise there, but still. Hide a chest behind there or something. Not that they've done something that has had chests entirely obscured before, but it wouldn't surprise me if this would be the point in time that you would see that. Is a gunner a thing in... thing? There's an astounding lack of guns. Well, trust me, there's at least one that I'll be seeing soon enough. Maybe. Yeah. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. Yeah, kind of the standard sort of thing, but nothing that I really need for right now. Wait, what does the wall say? I'm interested in that. Oh, trading. Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Chest link. Oh, this is how you make it. Using... Okay, so these are what all of the, like, weird things that I have been finding in a lot of the chests are now used for. Like the hungry salmon or the mysterious box omni-lock type of thing. Yeah, turret tokens. That's fun. That's funny. That's funny. I get it. Purple colored equipment too, which is pretty, which is something. What's his name? I guess it's based off of the game Broforce, but still. Sultan Brawler. I mean, I've been doing like a whole lot of like defensive stuff, actually. Maxing out Berserker, yeah, basically. Royal Garden Riposte. That one seems like it would probably be the most difficult to get. I do like that the epic metal guy does appear to be like Ronnie James Dio. That's a good touch. Antique token? I don't even know. I guess you have to use it for like this stuff. Gorgon Veil. So I guess I would have to probably be farming up a whole bunch of the gem items from doing the arena. Oh boy. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe not. I got kind of a... Wait, what? Where's the visible armor thing? How come I can't turn that on? How come I don't already have that on? Oh, the boosters. You usually don't need to say exactly what the version that you introduced it is, but sure. Add-ons, finally! Oh man, it took so long to see some more of these things. Literally to the end of the game. Oh, okay, that's how you get the gemstones then. Okay, fine, fair enough. Maybe I'll make an attempt? Yeah, trust me, not a problem. Because I'm betting that I can probably afford all of these things right now. Well, except for the Ridge Booster, apparently. Probably going to be that last area that I have to go to. I do also like that each one of the NPCs appears to be from the area that they're in. Oh, I need to go, like, sell a bunch of this stuff. Well, yeah, sure, why not? I'll throw them on right now. Doop. Detectors. And by detectors, you mean detector. There's no reason not to throw it on. Unless it would be kind of funny if there was, like, some sort of quest line that appeared at the very end that was like, yeah, you had that thing on the entire time. The entire time. Well then. Well then. I still have a couple more chests to get left in the game. So just give it to me. I guess I probably should have seen that coming, but I am irritated anyway. Let me out of here. What was that car in the background? Oh, your character's gonna be named High, of course. Yeah. Not gonna work out too well. Trust me on that. Okay, well, that's another thing to wrap up, I guess. Chest detector. Great. So 8, and then, yeah, 34 or 43. But the thing I want to do right now is go check out that final little area to see what's left in the Sapphire Ridge before kind of ending up the episode. For right now, it's going to be that one area from the dreams to check out. But then past that, it's like I don't actually know what it was, because that's when I was just like, we should probably stop playing at this point, so as not to spoil anything else. All the colors of the rainbow. Yes, very familiar. Yet, despite that, I did go back and look at the actual dream. It does not help out with what you're supposed to be doing here. Kind of like cuts off before you're supposed to be showing what's up. Yes, but not just yet. First off, what I want to do is I want to see Yeah, there's like exits around here, so I want to check out those. And then, well, then next time is when, oh, Ascension Temple. Shoop. Oh, that's actually everything, I guess. Yeah, so I guess this would be the true final dungeon, except, still this year. Yep, so I guess this would be something, but it's not right now. Okay, 3 chests in this area. I'm mad that that thing exists right now. I'm just saying. Why you gotta do me like that? Well, anyway, look, I still got all the chests, and if anything, getting them without the chest detector, I want to say, is the more impressive thing, right? Right. No, not just yet. I want to check out what's in the background first. There's like a second area. Yes, with 1 chest in it. Oh, it's just right here. All right, cool. Okay, so yeah, disband the party and go back to finishing and like finish up the game. But first, I got to get all the chests. I got to go do all the quests, etc., and so on. You know the drill at this point. So normally this would be a pretty short section, being that there's only 2 Sapphire Ridge specific quests, and you don't get the normal 4 factions with their 2-tiered quest lines. But because I'm also going to be finishing up all of the game-spanning quests, like the Henry one, the Ket and Dakar one, even the minor stuff like the Taladu Lips and the Drill quest, which I'm kind of surprised that was even a quest in the end anyway, we're going to be here for quite some time. So I said strap yourself in at the beginning of the Gaia's Garden quest section. Strap yourself in for this one, because oh boy. I'm not even going to be doing lore by the end of this, because I'll just save that for the start of the final episode, which in all likelihood is going to be a stream, I'm thinking. Kind of cap off the series with the same way that I started it. So yeah, in addition to actually figuring out like what the deal with Henry is and everything, you do actually get stuff like circuit points for some of these quests. It is a nice, speaking of cappers, it's a nice way to cap off some very, very long quests getting skill points, which are otherwise extremely rare to get. You only get them through leveling up, and that's about it. Oh yeah, I guess you could technically consider this guy to be the third Sapphire Ridge specific quest, but all you gotta do is give him an old blueprint and he just turns into a regular vendor. And it's a regular vendor using items that you get in Gaia's Garden, but since I already got all the chests in there, I can immediately make these shoes right now. The old blueprint you get in the cave-in storage area downstairs. So you'll be seeing that in the chest section. It's really not too much to get. It's actually very reminiscent of the Omni Glider's basement type of area, which was fun. And also this, there are a lot of quests that it felt like I don't know. I thought we might have seen an end game or something, but as it turns out, these are going to be all of the quests in the game now. I got the achievement for finishing 100% of them, so I guess we aren't going to be seeing anything more from Parkour Guy, Omni Gliders, the Bilston from, or any of the continuations of the major factions from each of the areas. Because it felt like they might have been building up to something with the police quests. I guess not. Oh, we are going to be seeing Joel again, though. I knew that there was going to be one more quest in that area because I was at 87% done. And as it turns out, yeah, it's endgame content. Why is that? I have no idea. Like, nothing else got that. I don't know. Well, anyway, I was saying that the 2 quests in this area are Kickstarter ones, and even though it might just be... I think even in the regular episode I said it might just be that, you're getting some sort of Kickstarter shoe thing. It is... you'll see very quickly that it is going to definitely going to be like Kickstarter backer themed very quickly. And then yep, all the way back here. And a Kickstarter. It's like sometimes when you see some of the backer stuff, it is more obvious than other times when somebody's clearly inserting an original character do not steal. And trust me, that phrase is very apropos for this particular circumstance. Anyway, the area that I'm going is directly below here. It is not very difficult to find at all. You just literally, yeah, there. Couldn't have just met me right at the screen transition. I told you, it's Tails. It's Tails miles per hour. And you know, we were explicitly told at the beginning of the game that people can look like whatever they want, and yet apparently they draw the line at making some sort of fox wearing a red scarf. I find the character creation in Crossworlds kind of lacking. If you were gonna, man, I'm just thinking about, like, what if you got an avatar? It's like if somebody did try to create some sort of weird, monstrous type of character, and they got an avatar, it's like, oh, man. I was just doing it as a joke. Oh, boy. Well, anyway. This is actually a little bit of a... This sort of thing, glitching through walls in this way, was actually something that was foreshadowed way earlier. I mean, apparently, like, all the characters that we saw running against the walls, including like the one in the Vermilion Wasteland, that was not just supposed to be a futile effort on their part, you know, out of desperation. That actually was some sort of glitch that they were trying to activate, which is some neat little, yeah, just some neat foreshadowing for that entire bit. Yeah, so you just had to run against the wall, basically Donkey Kong 64. Where you just, if you run into a wall at the right area, you just go directly out of bounds. Also find it interesting that the whole, like, concrete barriers as you see around here are not actually, like, literal barriers that avatars can't exist past. They just prevent you from walking past it. And basically, if you just busted up a hole in one of those, you can go and explore the rest of the world of Shadoon. Oh, shut up, Sergey. We're doing this. Although, I gotta say, it's like... If Leah got banned for this at this point, there would be some serious issues with the rest of the game. Also, you can see the sort of cyber background there. Very reminiscent of the very beginning of the game, and the section that we're going to be seeing immediately at the start of the next episode, where I'm going back into the secret area of Sapphire Ridge. I do like that there is consistent design for, like, testing grounds and, like, when people are hacking and stuff like that. It's entirely unnecessary, but it is still a nice touch. So this is... I mean, I guess you could kind of consider this an end to parkour, but it's not time parkour or anything. It is like super endgame content, though, which I do like. I think that is a neat little addition to the game. It also took me a long time to figure out some of these things. Yeah, so expect a lot of editing. But yeah, I mean, there's actually not as... I mean, given that I have apparently completed all of the quests in the game, I guess it's not going to be too much for, like, super end game content. You could kind of consider this to be, but it's not too much more difficult than anything else. Which in some ways is too bad, because I really do like, you know, bonus super bosses and everything like that. But also at the same time, the game has been... I have played this game for... God, I'm going to look this up right now. I have played this game for 141 hours at this point, and I'm still not done with it. So I'm also okay just thinking, I don't necessarily need to get more content out of this, even as much as I do like it. No, I feel like CrossCode has been a good media experience, way more than I would have expected for... Yeah, it's just dropping down from the ceiling. Well, this is a very glitchy area. Yeah, this game has been a lot... There's been a lot more content. It's very much so than I expected it to be. Even stuff like, you know, just minor Kickstarter rewards type of stuff is like a for-real quest with a boss at the end of this and everything. Would I consider this like a, you know, optional super content, though? I wouldn't quite go that far. Yeah, good old picador type of mechanics. It's not difficult to figure out, but it is difficult to edit around if I wanted to kind of show the optimal path. I guess I could have just restarted this entire thing over after I had an idea of what was going on. You know, basically Baba is you style, but I didn't. No, that's it. Now the parkour. I mean, I'll say this. I do like the parkour in the game, and I do think that it definitely opened up a lot of, you know, secret collecting, whether it's chests or just finding new little areas to go into and everything like that. But the perspective has been just a constant frustration in this game. If only this wasn't like top down, but like a little bit isometric or something, maybe that could have helped, like telling if something was above something else. It was never too terrible to do, but that is one of the minor gripes that I got with this game. Overall, I'd say that I have really enjoyed CrossCode way more than I thought I would. Because basically I started out the series, as you can probably tell from the original stream, not thinking that I was going to like this game at all. And being like, you know, I do like these games. You know, probably thinking that I'm going to like this game, but I'm not going to like it after 50 hours. And it's like, no, I did. Even though, oh god, the amount of editing required for some of those chests and everything was incredible. Oh well. Overall, it's just to this day I am still surprised that this game did not have. This game was certainly like critically reviewed well, and from what I understand, like it sold and everything. And there's even going to be like a console version coming out for it soon and everything like that. But I think that the thing that surprised me was it wasn't more of a sensation. Like, I gotta say that I really, I'm surprised that, you know, this doesn't have the same sort of legacy as something like Hollow Knight or, you know, let's just say your Shovel Knight or something like that. I guess that's a problem. It wasn't called Knight. But, yeah, because this game there's so much stuff here, and I think it's all pretty good that... It's like, yeah, I'm just surprised that we didn't get that there wasn't too much more of a reception. Hey, maybe that'll eventually come when we get the console versions of the game. I mean, I did not even know about the... Yeah, you're just cheating. But I didn't even know about, like, the Kickstarter for this or anything. I don't know. Well, certainly I do hope that this does eventually get some more recognition because, God, I think that just the amount of... Especially when you think of indie games, there's a lot of games that do, you know, there's a lot of very long games, but I struggle to think of one that's also very, like, story-focused, like this one, that doesn't drop off over time. Alright, well, there was a pretty clear cut here, because this is actually kind of a for-real boss. Despite its look. So meet, God, what is his name? Do not use. In all caps, no spaces. A joke boss, but it is a for-real boss. And it attacks shooting stuff like the penguins at you. Or as you'll see later, utilizing a bunch of enemies like the frog rabbits or the show cats. It isn't weak or strong to anything, so I'm just using electricity because that's one of my most powerful single-hit attacks. It's just... What an enemy. And yeah, when Sergey was talking about things kind of... it kind of messing with the general design of how you're supposed to be doing... those things... Talking about the general design for how they were planning out bosses, I can see why, because stuff like the fake eyes and everything like that, I don't know if there's any actual way to tell which ones are real. I could not figure it out, so I just kind of relied on blitzing my way through most of the hit points as fast as possible. Yeah, it's a gun. It's a gun that shoots shellcats. Really relied a lot on just getting... I'm not... This enemy does not deserve the same attention to trying to get parries like the Twilight Warrior? Was that his name? I don't even remember. The final boss, the other area. I'm just guarding those regularly. I'm not going for the actual parry timing on it. Hey, I only got one guard break, and I think that's the only guard break that I get over the course of the game, so that's fine by me. Yeah, if you don't do enough damage, then do not use will just disappear, and instead. By the way, he does make an ooh-woo face when he's shooting out the gun. I just do want to make that absolutely clear. Also, eyes blinking at 2 different rates, so the left one is much faster than the right one. Yes, you don't just, if you do like if you do only like a single hit to the eyes there, it will then, the main eyes will disappear and then turn into one of the fake ones, but I honestly don't know which ones are the fake ones and which ones are the real ones. And for your efforts, you get a single sandwich. That's, yeah, I mean, it is like a dummied out boss. It is a dummied out joke boss, so why would it give you anything else? That's a good fight, by the way. I'm a big fan of that. Although I did find it kind of frustrating. I mean, Sergey was right. Some of those attacks, like the penguin one, if you get into the corner, you can't dodge it. Like figuring out which ones the eyes are, I don't know. And for your effort to get lunatic paws, which are actually more powerful than the clogs that I would have gotten earlier, the wooden sandals. So, yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if they're more powerful necessarily. I was just looking at... Can't break that, unfortunately. Or fortunately? Well, anyway. Yeah, so... It wasn't really necessary to even get that in the first place. You do need to beat the boss of the Sapphire Ridge to even get the last item required for that. You can't just get the glue and wood required from Gaia's Garden. So by this point in time, I was already pretty... I was just ready to use that. Maybe the stats aren't as good, but... I also did do some of the arena stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit later. First up, it's Henry. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's, to be honest, I was kind of hoping that by endgame here, that I might have been able to say, like, Henry would have been like, oh, I was just trying to steal some guy's credit cards. And, I was just trying to steal some credit cards. And as it turns out, there's, like, in my journey, I've realized that there are a lot bigger problems. And much like Baxton is saying, it's like if he was an actual dude, if he was like an actual dude living in the game, if he came into, whatever the final battle is, he could literally tear apart enemies. I mean, you remember the Tower of Doom over in the Vermilion Wasteland? If it was just like a regular human, you wouldn't even be affected about it at all. I mean, obviously, since this is a optional quest line, if you could like get him on if you could like get an actual person on your side, all it would be is just, an advantage in whatever the final battle is going to be. I do know a little bit about it. I did play a little bit of the end game. I didn't, not all of it, just a little bit. And it's like, it would have, I don't know, it would have been a neat addition. Same thing with like maybe getting Ket and Dakar on your side by end game too. Having him be convinced to like have Henry and Ket and Dakar be your final 2 party members that you could get for the final fight. Even though Henry, I don't even if he is a real person here, and he's wearing like the same headphone ear covering things like Satoshi was when Satoshi was an avatar, so I don't know. I just think that would have been an interesting thing, because, you know, just making them like super optional type of stuff. And if you finish all of the game spanning quests, because even if Henry's just a dumb nerd, he is a real person, and we've seen before that Leah can just be picked up by a small child. So like a real person would have no problem. Would be like a level 200 character in the game or something, right? Boy, people really take a long time to figure this sort of thing out. So, yeah, actually figuring out where Henry is at, he is over in the high ground area. I even made mention of that during the regular episode, that it's like, hey, it's kind of suspicious that we didn't really, there's nothing here. And that's because you just had to wait a little bit longer. And there's the idea that Henry, I guess, you know, if you do have very fine control over, like, hand movements and everything, that you could probably, like, literally construct something in Crossworlds. But, like, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have had to you wouldn't have necessarily need to bring it yourself, but you would have just, required a little bit of, you know-how, and it's kind of hard to tell exactly what is supposed to be a literal object in Crossworlds and what's not. Because like they said, you know, the trees are real and they have not really the time, but yes. Okay, anyway, Pandafax. FAX. But yeah, it's pretty clear at this point that Henry is not a real person. It's like he can't teleport unless the technology is way more advanced than they were originally implying in the game. Sure, they might have instantaneous communication between galaxies, but I don't think they have literal teleportation for people yet. You know, there's where my exploits fighting the samurai bug a million times come into play. There's actually quite a few quests in the end game here that really do put you up against a lot of those. You know, before I was told that the melee attack for wave is not very good, but when you're going up against a bunch of enemies, definitely seems to be worthwhile. And hey, that's like I was saying before, the language of the game. You see those red windows around, that means that there's hacking going on. But, of course. Well, I mean, I don't know. I saw, like, the Ghost in the Shell series. And again, crash the server. Although I suppose we did see some of those disappearing block type of platforms earlier that also exploded in a very similar manner. Maybe that just means that they crashed the instance of those blocks to make them appear and disappear. That would actually make a lot of sense for like a small testing area created by interns, which is a cute reference where it's like, yeah, we didn't really do proper garbage collection there, now did we? So yeah, the entire thing about this is just to attempt to destroy the probe to cause a... This is again the sort of thing that I was talking about where I kind of wondered if... Like, what is real? Is shock actually like a shock element in the game? Like, when I say shock element, does it actually like do electricity in the game? Because I thought that it would just be, you know, virtual in the same way that say like Tron thinks that all the water is fully simulated. Yeah, that is actually a pretty good idea there, but you know, you're still sending enemies after them. Still very video game-ish, despite being going up against a hacker. I told you you're going to be fighting a lot of these guys here. And then for some reason, the Arantarda in the bottom right corner has just entirely decided to stop attacking me. It's like... de-aggroed. I don't know. Yeah, the first time I did this, actually, well, the first attempt that I had at this, I somehow was able to get Henry's health down far enough that, well, or his shield broken far enough, that what happened was he went all the way over to the left side, because, you know, he goes on each side of the square, and it didn't open up the next hole in the barrier, so instead what happened was I couldn't hit him. I only had the single hole on the bottom, and he was on the left side. That was a weird glitch, and kind of frustrating, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Anyways, I'm sure as you can tell right now, I got the final phase, and then proper boss time. Only one phase, though, so that's nice at least. Alright. It's a little... I mean, I'm trying to not take too much damage while I'm also fighting the bugs, but it's not... like, it's not going out as well as I was hoping. Oh, well, at least being that these guys are weak to wave, I am able to use the healing ability pretty well. Also get more counters. Whatever, that works. I'll just take whatever. Not quite the area that I would have liked to have seen, but as long as I can get rid of at least one of these dudes, I should be fine. Come on. Yeah, he has like one hit point. So, single phase boss, I guess that's technically correct. The best kind of correct. Yep. So the achievement for this is actually called like a, well, there's not a proper achievement, but the trophy, the in-game trophy for this is called like, didn't see that coming, and it's like, I didn't. You got me. So, as it turns out, much like a lot of things in the game, something that's been like a big theme for everything except for the main plot line in the game, is that there's actually very little, Sergey, come on, man. Well, I mean, you know, hey, it's supposed to be a fun quest thing, but we also have some more important things going on here. Anyway, yeah, it's a big theme in the entirety of CrossCode that there's actually like very few stakes for anything that happens. Like that's even I've talked about before how even the main plot line of CrossCode is just go along the track, get collect each one of the elements, and that's it. You fell for it? I did. It's true. That was unexpected. That's what it's called. And you can also look at the probe there, and it will say, like, in commemoration of blah, blah, blah. The IHSO. So the second, and very clearly Kickstarter-inspired, or Kickstarter backer reward quest, is with the other type of guild that you can find in the game. Specifically the last-minute heroes, is that what they're called? Yes, last-minute heroes, which is just entirely the Kickstarter guild, basically. You can go in there, you can find like the names of people who are backers and everything like that. I am going to guess right now that the two NPCs we're going to be seeing are most definitely based on real people. There's one of those, that's one of those things that you can always kind of tell, where you look at it and sometimes you just see like you see like an actual portrait of a person. I'm thinking of like Bloodstained, or you see somebody who has, I mean, usually it's not like as extreme as the design as the fox woman thing, but like sometimes, you know, it's extra detailed in a way that you're like, they make you the things that make you say, So yeah, I could look at all of this, but Kickstarter stuff is also very, very rarely ever. I mean, I'll say this. For Kickstarter stuff, we are talking about, and yeah, each one of the member lists, of course. Kickstarter backer. Yeah, I'll say this, that this game is, you know, the people who are going to be, who, you know, were funding this game are obviously going to be a bunch of video game playing nerds. And in-game, they are a bunch of video game playing nerds. In other words, I think it fits a little bit better than some of the other, like, more confusing type of backer rewards that I've seen. And this is also, I mean, it's actually like a very, it's actually a very simple quest. Like, the previous one, you know, you had like a bunch of weird game breaking type of stuff. This is just, hey, go and help out some dudes. That's about it. Does it require fighting a lot more bug samurai? Oh, yes, yes, it does. Like, an incredibly huge amount by the end of this. Like, an impossibly huge amount of this. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that I had Emily here, at least. I don't know, she seemed to like laser bridges. I don't know if she was really all that obsessed with, like, creating her own. I'm trying to even imagine what that would be. I guess like a puzzle game, right? Where you create bridges, like a... There was some sort of bridge building game that I'm trying to think of, but I don't remember. How much do you think people actually, like, pay for Crossworlds? I would think that this would probably be pretty expensive. But, I don't know. I mean, I was talking about, like, Henry trying to steal credit cards. It's like, mate. It's like, do you think this is a subscription service MMO? You know, like your World of Warcraft, where you got to pay like $15 a month, or it's just a single buy? I want to say it would probably be a subscription service. It seems like the amount of time and money spent on this, but then again, there is like revolutionary technology. Or maybe it's not that much? I don't know, I'm trying to even think, like, what exactly would you... I would think this would be pretty expensive. I mean, you think about, like, how much VR is right now, and it does not nearly have even remotely close to the same amount of capabilities as the stuff that you find in Crossworlds. I don't know. I mean, we do find out, I know, in the Cat in the Car quest that apparently it seems like the Crossworlds has only been out of beta for about like 6 months or so. So maybe it's just like super cheap right now while they're trying to get people in it, and then they might up the price a little bit later on. But then again, how can you justify doing that? Maybe you get like the first month free or something like that. But I don't think that has elapsed just yet. Still would have to buy the Crossworld headset though. Anyway, I tried to kind of stall out that battle because I'm like, hey, aren't we supposed to be like waiting as long as possible or something? And no, it's not that kind of quest. Because again, they've been pretty good about putting in a bunch of, you know, like making it so that anything the player could possibly do is covered. So, you know, if it was, I could have gotten some different dialogue, is what I'm saying. And even though I'm not obsessed with showing off every single bit of possible dialogue in the entirety of the game, I still want to at least make a token effort to you know, attempt to do that. All right, like I said, now here's the thing. This guy gets to the point where he somehow aggroes more of these samurai bugs than you could possibly do, and it's just, and we're supposed to be expected to believe this. Again, it would have been a pretty good way to do some grinding if I wasn't already way super over-leveled even for this part. I guess it's technically possible to get up to level 99 in the game. At least if that guy in Basin Keep is to be believed. But even with like the boost equipment you get, it seems like it's going to be difficult to do that. Of which I have used that a little bit. Yes, I'm not surprised on that. It's not like it was too difficult to get all that boost equipment. I already had all the items getting all the chests before this. I can't believe they give you a chest detector right at the end of the game. You'd think somebody would have mentioned that, like, in-game lore, where they're like, oh, yeah, you can... Yeah, there. Look at the amount of that. You get a veritable army of them. But hey, at least the... You know, you also get Mark on there along with the melee attack of that. It's pretty nice. Slowing down similarly, too, also pretty helpful. Good. Yeah, and on this save file, didn't really get too much of Emily's dialogue, so... Well, we're getting it now. The point I'm actually getting elemental overload and everything. You do also get items from this, which is pretty nice if you went into this without having each one of the upgrades that you could possibly get in this area. Although, really, I don't know if this quest even opens up until you actually meet the Sapphire Ridge bit. I don't know. Because, yeah, the NPC said something along the lines of, like, hey, you saw my posting on the board? Well, basically, I didn't. I just happened to cross that quest without even knowing about it. Yeah, it's like, literally should be impossible. And again, very low stakes type of quest line here. You get so much money in this game. I spent money on getting 3 of those 1-ups, despite the fact that they're like 60,000 each, and then I just used it for fun to assert dominance. I don't really think that that's, you know, an excuse. Unless you just literally could not be killing enemies the entire time, which does seem likely now that I say it. Alright, well. Wow, indeed. How come you guys didn't help me out at any point in time when I was going to die? That actually would have been a good mechanic in the game. Like, if you are in battle for an extremely long time, they come in... Well, maybe that could have actually been the case, and I just never really did it. Well, 75,000 credits there again, so... Just for saving some guy they've saved 300 times already. Alright, Cat and Dakar. The final. The ultimate. Had... many bosses to fight up to this. Now we're going to finally see the secrets of the observatory. I'm sure it won't be disappointing. I'm sure. This is actually like a legit... This quest line, this final quest line for him, confused me a lot. Broken chakrams, which I guess are what Leah's supposed to be using. That's a Spheromancer class weapon, even though... You know, you just kind of swing them around. They're more like hoops. Maybe they just didn't want to call them hoops. Which I can understand, but still. So yeah, this one, like, baffled me for a while. War in the Bellow. And you'd think that it's like, okay, this is going to be some sort of, like, puzzle. Where you got to, you know, you got to be, like, the mealy stern bug. You got to go eat a meal and stare at a campfire. And then you got to go watch the berry tree. I didn't know about the berry tree. Because the berry tree was something that I even noticed when going through here in the first place, that it was actually listed as a berry tree, which was a rare type of... yeah, the other trees did not have that. But I was like screwing around, going back and forth between campfire and the berry tree over and over and over, and as it turns out, no, you just walk behind the berry tree. That's it. That's the puzzle. Puzzle solved. You puzzling good. You do have to do this pretty difficult-ish parkour section, but yeah, you can even see there's a remaining time for that. Something that I think I only see... haven't really seen too much at all otherwise in the game. I don't... Certainly, if this appeared for other Switches, I did not notice it. And some real wonky hitboxes going on there. But yeah, I got to the end of the game, and there were only a couple chests left that I was missing, and it wasn't until I found this area that I realized, it's not just, you know, the last couple areas right next to the final temple that I never got to do or anything. It was due to this place. Because much like because you know there's a chest when you first enter here. There's a chest when you enter here, and finishing up the Dakar quest to get the broken chakrams in the first place, you also get a chest, which is good. At least that means that I just didn't happen to find this area. Unlike all the rest of the bamboo, you couldn't really see through that part too well. There we go. It's a good thing those explosions do reach up pretty high. It's, you know, not that you wouldn't expect explosions to do that, but, well, it is a video game. And you know how them video games go sometimes. So yeah, at this point, I do think that I had most of like the upgrades that I could possibly get in the area, as well as I had been using the booster a little bit. I had done some of the arena. The arena is not, you know, when I was talking about endgame earlier, the arena is, I mean, it's neat. I like it as, you know, the concept. I like having that there and everything. It's just, if I'm being honest here, I do think that, I do like CrossCode and everything, but, you know, like I was saying before, I do feel like I've gotten enough out of it. It's just, you know, getting that extra little bit of, like, arena stuff, trying to go for score attacks, trying to do it, like, arcade style has never really been something I've been all that interested in. I did do some of the basic stuff to get, like, 1 or 2 pieces of equipment before, you know, like, I got too frustrated to continue on trying to get, like, gold rank on everything. And I do appreciate that there is a way to refight all of the bosses. It's just, oh, man, it's too much for me. And then as for all, like, the booster stuff, it does make enemies significantly more difficult and also increase the amount of experience you get and everything like that, as well as giving you the special gems for getting upgrades. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Only Sapphire, I mean, at this point in time, only Sapphire Ridge is giving me a significant amount of experience, and that's, like, on the order of 10, and you need 1,000 to get, you need like 1,000 experience to get a level up each time. Yes, new types of Avantada. War Websters, which are weak to, which are, you know, kind of take the opposite approach as the other ones. Yeah, as always, kind of a theme where you introduce a new couple quest-specific enemies. And also, it's very similar to the one that you did with the Oogie Boogie Man back in Guy's Garden, where you were getting flincers that were flame styled. More fire bugs is what I'm saying. And yes, that one bug is with the panda. I mean, they made it pretty clear the whole, like, war in the bellows deal is supposed to be... It's obvious what the boss of this area was going to be. Wasn't always true, but it was definitely true here. Alright, so basic strategy is pretty much the same as any one of the other Panzers, as long as you... yeah. Stay away when they break. Because that explosion, well, not this break, but the future ones. It is otherwise just a very boss version of one of these enemies. Which makes sense because, you know, we already had like a boss version of the warrior bugs. So it's like, what else were you gonna do here? Like a boss version of the Avantada? Which I guess that is kind of what this is. Yeah, watch out for that explosion, as always. And then just more electricity because I think for single target damage it does pretty well. I don't know if it's the best in the game, but certainly it's fast. Unlike, say, the... come on now. Unlike, say, the ice one, you can use it pretty much immediately. And also giant laser beams. Yeah, it's Not too difficult to dodge. I still screwed it up there, though, and managed to get myself marked. Oh, well, as long as I don't get hit by too many things, it'll be okay. Several different phases to this guy, but it is really just, you know, he does the laser beam for longer, he shoots out more, like, projectiles and everything. And the Arntarda become extremely frustrating to just continuously... I keep trying to hit them with some of the attacks. Like, the melee attack does... you know, pull in enemies. It doesn't pull in enemies that well, I guess. Level 3 version of that. I should have gone for like a level 6 version. It's like use the non-elemental hits for taking down the spiders. I'm glad that we did get more usage out of the whole teleport mechanic. Got it very late in the game, but even in some of these smaller boss fights, or like finding chests. I've said before that a lot of the basic mechanics of each one of the elements, and even like some of the non-element upgrades that you got, for example, getting new versions of the keys to open chests, still managed to get a decent amount of use even very late into the game. I mean, for example, if you see a golden chest, even if you have all of the keys, or, you know, a bronze chest, you kind of can rank exactly what's going to be in each one of those things as you find them. Well, that wasn't as good as I was hoping for. It is something that I think CrossCode does well, that I know a lot of other games, you know, giving you upgrades, and then, well, after you get the golden key, you get nothing but golden chests for the rest of the game or something like that. No, there's still some actual meaning to the stuff you get anyway. You can't destroy those if you're using Wave Element, which is frustrating. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but still. For a lot of these fights, I actually, even if I was going to win, if I was still, like, dying a ton, I would usually, what I would usually do is just restart anyway, try to get a better version of the fight. I remember even thinking that I should have done that there when I was in the red and everything like that, but I decided not to and just saw it to the end. Why exactly is it important to have a really good fight and not just beat it? Even though I say all the time that, hey, the only thing that matters is that you won. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it sometimes. And one more sweep back and forth, and then it is just one more round of this whole thing, and we're done. Should have used one of the 1-ups. I think didn't I do that for the do not use fight? I don't really remember, but it's like, yeah, there's not really too... I don't actually know what the final boss is going to be like, but I know it's not going to use that many consumables. It's probably going to use quite a few consumables, but not that many. Then again, there might also just not be a final boss for the game. Wouldn't surprise me if that kind of happened. The explosion broke it. Wouldn't surprise me if that sort of thing kind of happened, because... yeah, I said before that generally conflict with this type of game, although with the actual main plot, that is not as true. And golden chest, because it's a very special type of thing that I'm getting. With the broken chakrams. It's, at least that one makes sense, because that's the sort of weapon that you would actually use. Though you don't get to... you can equip up each one of the classes' individual items, but they don't really... they just all work like the same thing. I mean, not that you really see the difference between each one of the pieces of equipment otherwise that you buy from shops or craft up or something. I don't know. Alright, and then back at the observatory. You need to have somebody of each class to even open up this thing in the first place. Yeah, half a year ago. Although maybe that could have even been taking place during the open or the closed beta for Cross Worlds, and the game's only been out for like 2 months. The timeline is... I don't think that we were ever given a very concrete type of timeline. It's just that, really. Yeah, it's me. I told you, it's a mostly conflictless type of game. He's just worried his kids were going to be mad for him bothering them. That's it. I don't know. It is very anticlimactic, but also in another way, I like it that they didn't try to make it some sort of super melodramatic type of mystery or quest line or something like that. It fits with the rest of the game too. Though I can understand that if some people got to this point, they were like, "Wait, that was it? Okay, I guess." Or it kind of feels like I waste my time or something like that. Nah, but I don't know. I like it. Oh no, I'm still going into the observatory. I can get members of each one of the classes. That's easy. But also, I do feel kind of bad. Never even found out what his actual class was supposed to be. He's wearing he's wearing that armor, but that's the one thing that I would have liked to have some sort of closure on, more than anything else. Just being able to figure out why he's, I guess, is just a very, very stupid old, a very stupid looking old armor that exists in the game. Feels like they would have had something, feels like there would have been something more to that. I don't know. And then yes, just to take a look at each one of the descriptions for all of the items, because I didn't look at a lot of them in the first place. Not really too much of interest, but hey, there they all are for completion's sake. Yeah, I actually want to stay directly in Autumn's Rise. You think with the amount of times that I've gone over here, that you've seen that exact screen starting out an episode, that I would remember where this thing is actually located better. But as it turns out, that's not the case. And despite having this entire guild area, I only got to see 3 guilds in the entire game. Omnigliders, these guys, which is just, the 5-person guild, and Last Minute Heroes. I guess I am glad that at least the Last Minute Heroes wasn't just a small area up there. There was some actual story type of things in there. I just would have liked to see them, save me a couple times. I'm just saying. Just let me say it. Do I want to ask them myself? I don't think it really makes all that much of a difference. And yeah, no surprise that Lynn has already completed that quest a long time ago. She would probably be the one to, she probably could have given me her versions of the old stuff or something. Just got me in here with no problem at all. Oh yeah, I never actually contacted any one of these characters, and yet, yeah, there's what happens when you do. It's funny, at this point in time, I am a higher level than Buggy, so he's not very good at this game. As you haven't even done any, the smallest amount of grinding. I guess he's one of those guys who just uses it for a chat, glorified chat room or something. I got the level 40 or whatever, and I don't need to get any higher than that. I wouldn't really say hours. I mean, you probably already had all those pieces of equipment. I could have just asked you about that. And once again, like I said, I would like to have seen like Cat and Dakar actually come in like, as a last minute party member too, but nah, he's just. I honestly kind of question like if he's really playing the game all that much at this point, or if he's just kind of like, I'm just hanging out here. You would think that somebody that's been around for that long has probably done pretty much everything that you would possibly want to do. Well, the door is open after this, but yeah. And when I saw that, I was thinking, oh boy, I was right. There is a fifth element. There is not a fifth element. It is, that's just the, I mean, it's not even all that much lore for Crossworlds either. You just kind of learn, yeah, they have an observatory because, you know, they're looking for that, message from the sky type of deal. And the final shade was the meteor shade and everything. And you do get some points, but I don't know. I was hoping for. Especially when I saw that last little thing, I was hoping for something real neat. You can also see the meteor in the background and, well, electricity all over the place. You know, very important for making an observatory. The electricity just kind of out there. And they really don't look... I went back and looked at that even after I saw that, and it's like, oh, it's not really much of anything, is it? They do just kind of look like rabbits. It's true. Yes, maybe the most important thing. It's not that rich in lore. I mean, I was thinking extra element. I was thinking extra element, some sort of new type of dungeon or something like that. Maybe just a boss. That's also the final. They also might be talking about Talada Lips here, but that's the end of that quest as well as the start of the end of the drill quest. The drill is pretty good. It does give you like increased item gain, like 30% item drop increase. Lucky as it's called, because that's a Kingdom Hearts thing. Got like the Pooh Bear keychain that I remember was very bad, but happened to give you extra items. Use that a lot back in Kingdom Hearts 2. And but it doesn't give you any experience past that point. It's still otherwise a pretty decent item though. Level-wise, it might be outclassed by some of the... Level-wise, it might be outclassed by some of the items that you get from like the arena and everything, but I think it also gets like maybe extra critical hits or something. I don't really know exactly how that works. So yeah, you were only here for a month. You moved everything in very nice. Well, anyway, yeah, it's a very quick bit of wandering about, and it's obvious that like the Forge Master here was going to be in the abandoned house if you were Toldenbergen Trail. There wasn't really too much else aside from maybe the Hermit house, and that the Hermit, as I said, has not lived there for many years. And then there's only one actual house you can enter in down here. There is another house that technically looks like you can go inside of it, but I could not figure out how to do that. I've gotten all the chests, done all the quests in the entire game. I mean, when I first came down here, I was thinking, oh, I bet it's probably the closed house that you need to get into to get to talk to this guy, and that's gonna be how you actually open that up. Nope, and I still don't know how to. Yeah, I don't know. It was in pretty bad shape. I mean, didn't I like craft this thing myself? Actually, I'm really not entirely sure. Maybe I just traded those items for the magic drill. Probably should have gotten rid of my my party members here, because there is like some... It's very similar to... It's very similar to how like you did the rainbow shell back in Chrono Trigger, I remember. So, yeah, having the party members here kind of obscures that a little bit. And the very large ember is just in one of the chests that you find in Rhombus Square. It's easy as that. Sure, why not? Why did they have that specifically for that? So maybe this is like a reference to something. Yeah, Emily, move out of the way a little bit. So you did get the Infinity Stone for doing all of that. Or Infinity Gem. I don't know, it's just because the Infinity Gem saga was ongoing in the movies, in the Marvel movies at this point in time. Maybe, but they didn't really seem to have any sort of reference to that in the name of it, so I don't think so. Well, anyway, the final drill upgrade. It is a decent item, but no experience. It's like, why even do it like that, though? That seems entirely unnecessary. Makes it so that pretty much I made sure that I leveled up as much as possible before actually before actually like trying to use this item. All right then. What? Is making a drill that is doing this dumb Gurren Lagann reference really worth killing a man? The answer is yes. And I did it. Anyway, use it wisely. I will after I level up a few more times. Just give me a second here. Each one of the different types of plants and also things that are not really like plants, like big piles of ice or beehives or bones. None of the stone plants, though. I mean, apparently you can grow those things. You just don't get the stone from each one. Well, some of the weird ones. Not every one of the weird ones. I do maybe question having anthills and, like, bug eggs as part of your garden. That feels like that's just a disaster waiting to happen. But hey, what can I say about that? And then finally we got Joel's quest, which I really thought, I either thought that it's like I wouldn't have seen this quest again, or that I would have gotten more quests like this. But really, it's just, no, just the one. Do get one circuit point for fire. Which, okay. I don't know, this is a very different type of quest than I would have expected to see at this point in time. Bye. And then, it's like, hey, take a guess on how you open up the pathway here. Yeah, it's the exact way that I was trying to do it when I first saw this area. Not that I could do too much of anything down here, because this is like a small puzzle area. Oh, you're not coming with, Emily? See, on the other side. It's like, you do this quest too? Yeah, not that I would have gotten too far. It does require a lot of warping. There's those shot blocking magenta square things, which you just... I would have expected you would see more. And much like doing the parkour section earlier, I made sure to skip through this a little bit because it did take me some time to figure out some of these puzzles for reasons unknown even to myself. A phrase I like using, but I think it's always pretty appropriate. Also, new enemies. It is just a combination of the Robox and the other moths that I fought earlier. Because it's lasers, but it's lasers that track onto you. And like I was saying back during the Super Panda fight, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have like a good fight going on here, and I just could not make it happen. So here's bad fights all over the place. Yeah, it's not so much that you just need to teleport, it's that you need to teleport behind them. They need to be in a way that they can't just immediately try and find you with a laser sight. You have to get out of their cone of vision, which is also going to be for the boss in this area too. Yes, there's the boss. It's an otherwise pretty short area, if there wasn't one. Which I suppose in some ways... Yeah, that's out of the cone of sight, thankfully. Which in some ways would have been fine, but also in other ways... Like, hey, you're doing a... This is a final quest type of deal. Why not throw in another boss? Puzzles. Not difficult puzzles, but they are timing-based puzzles, which was kind of frustrating to do. Using wave element on the water. This is only fitting. Wave and shock doesn't really have any actual effect on any of the like ice pillars or water balls or anything like that. So there's not really like a whole lot of point in switching back to neutral for that. Now, the entire thing with trying to figure out this puzzle is making sure that you freeze it at a time so it doesn't disappear. And then... is this again. It's... These enemies are very frustrating. But as long as you can kind of... As long as you figure out that you do, in fact, need to confuse them by going behind them, then it makes a lot more sense. Because otherwise it just feels like you're not... Like, it happens randomly when they actually get confused. At least it did for me at the very beginning. And it's just short. It's very frustrating. Oh well. Like I said, I usually like to get a cleaner fight than this, but it just... especially after doing all of these other quests, I was just like, let's just finish it up. Not necessary, but I think at that point in time I thought that I might have had the ice equipped instead. Getting like a super version of that is pretty good. In some ways I do like seeing a return of mobs, because I love the whole laser beam. It took me a very long time to figure out how to get that laser beam for myself. It's the super version, the level 3 art of the fire throw attack. Oh, come on, that wasn't a break. It's level 3 fire throw attack, and it's pretty great for just taking out large groups of enemies. I mean, especially going against like a boosted up guys, or in the arena, I found it pretty useful. And one final area to conquer before the end. With some sort of magical gemstone. And another very awkward cut. Of course. The final boss that I'm fighting of all of the quests is another Corrado. This guy's got a cactus nose and appears to be made out of sand. He mostly just, uses fire attacks like the ones the pandas have, or your flamethrower attack against you. Weak to ice, and this is also maybe going to be the first time that I'm finally using some of the level 6 arts. It's not a very difficult fight, but again, it's kind of a theme with what was going on here. It does use the same sort of mechanic as the mods. There we are. It's the same sort of mechanic as the mods, where you got to get behind him. But luckily, they do also show the... It's a little bit more obvious where the cone of sight is, which makes it helpful. Also just wave attack for healing. One up there as well. Also for SP gain, so that I can try to get like the level 6 versions of it. And that fire does stay on the ground. It's very frustrating that way. And yeah, as much as I would like to try to get the level 6 art on each one of these attacks, it's... This Super Corrado does also kind of prevent you from doing that with the with the attacks that he's doing. It's a pretty long wind-up on that, even though it does do a lot of damage. And I thought I was going to get more level 6 attacks here than I guess I actually did. Yeah, the most frustrating thing about that is the fact that it... There we are. The most frustrating thing about that attack is that the fire on the ground does, in fact, hurt you. That was enough. And then I was just like, oh, come on, you have a sliver of health left. Come on now. And that is all of the quests in the entire game. And a cross sandwich. Started out the first boss here getting regular sandwich, and now I get a cross sandwich. So yeah, that is it. That is everything. That is, I think even after I'm done talking to Joel here, I get the gotta task 'em all achievement, which is actually what they called it. I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna let it go here. So there's nothing else to expect here. It is really just get on to the end game and finish it up. Don't even know what that thing does. I mean, I guess it angers sand snowmen, but that's about it. Gotta help them all. There you go. And that is the final for quests, but not the final for chests. Oh, there's still so many chests to get. It's not quite as much as the 66 chests that you got in the previous area, but it's still a lot. And to start out here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go just right back to the Autumn's Fall area, get that all nice and sorted out. Because it's technically not a part of Sapphire Ridge, except it definitely is. So, you know. Yeah. It's also a very easy one to get if you know where you're going. I'm frustrated that this was technically a separate section like that. Why did you do that to me, CrossCode? Why didn't you just make things easy? This was entirely unnecessary. The ivory bowls are not that difficult. For some reason, I guess I thought that would be more boosted up. I even at this point in time, I didn't have the booster on because this was in between that cut that I did where I fought the boss of Sapphire Ridge and yeah, I switched save files. This is that save. This is what I was doing in that save file in the interim. Is what I'm trying to say. Thankfully, you got a lot of. Probably not really the intended way to do this. I want to say you probably just want to go on the other side and then use the 45-degree angle to angle it up. But oh well, whatever works. That's at least satisfying to do. And then you get the first of 40 chests in here. And I'm going to be getting all of them. There's also 8 chests in Rhombus Square as well. A lot of the more basic ones are just to figure out your way through the bamboo path. And that's nice, but much like a Guy's Garden, it did get a lot more complicated with time. And thankfully those are not timed, because oh boy, that would be frustrating otherwise. There are a couple things that's like I could not figure out the right way to do, and I did have to kind of cheese out using that, spinning off of a cliff to like get to a place where you're technically not supposed to be. I did that back in the spider cave a little bit earlier. But I do think at this point in time I know what you're actually supposed to do. I think. I'll get to that soon enough. Because I think it's like one of the next chests that I'm going to be getting. Or one of the next chests that I'm going to be unlocking. But it's going to take quite a while for me to actually get it. And took quite a few attempts there, but eventually I just realized you need to do that. Easy, right? And I told myself a lot in the earlier parts of the game that it's like you don't really have to plan it. You don't really have to like plan your shots out to hit like a single pixel or anything like that. I mean, even the points in time that you do have very small areas to be hitting, all you gotta do is you just gotta hit these poles. And that is actually true for a couple things, including getting into the Cat and Dakar quest a little bit earlier. But, you know, at least that is something that is very obvious to see when you see it. which does make a big difference because, oh boy, a lot of these, like I was saying, a lot of these maybe took a lot longer than they should have to figure out. You can see way over there that there is, in fact, like a little, a timed door thing to hit, and I suppose you're supposed to be shooting at it off screen. I think that is actually the intended way there. I'm not entirely sure. Just jump right up on top of that. Yes, it's this one, where figuring out how to hit each one of the switches was tricky, but I could figure it out pretty easily. Although that fourth switch was kind of like the most difficult one, which is why I saved that one for first. Saved it for first? Yes. It's, and also another time remaining example. Not that it was too bad. But actually getting to that chest was the thing that I was confused about. Like, it took me a while to figure that out, to the point that I went and got a couple other chests before even going back to figure out how to get up there. Thankfully, the chest does kind of hang around, so it's not that bad, but still, I was baffled for some time. All right, so this one is the one that I was talking about where you get the old blueprint for the wooden clog type of deal for that quest I did earlier. It is technically a chest, and as I was saying, it is the Omni Glider type of section. Got done, well, less complicated, I'll give them that, but still. So next up is, I mean, it's like, yeah, so basically just getting all of that required a little bit of Sokoban action. I don't know why I said next up like I was going into another section. It's because I've been recording for like an hour here and talking constantly the entire time. These sections are very long. Just got to get that set up there, the right stepping stones, and then just jump right across. Not often that you get a lot of key items in here, but it certainly did happen quite a few times in this section. Just getting this between this one and getting the large ember all the way up in Rhombus Square. Okay, you can see the area. You can see the area there, and then just like trying to scroll the screen over a little bit by aiming a shot did get me attacked by these guys. As you do. It is the curse of LPing, trying to figure out how to show something without also accidentally getting yourself attacked by enemies. Or purposely getting yourself attacked by enemies. That does happen a lot too, where it's like, hey, this enemy does a cool thing. But I gotta get to do the right attack first, which sometimes takes a little bit longer than you want. Of course, getting up here is just half the battle. And it's that bit right there that did kind of like confuse me for a while, where you're supposed to bank shot it off of that thing. I mean, I guess it makes sense when you think about it, but it did take some time for me to even figure that out. And that same sort of thing, which you'll see a couple times, you know, lowering a wall just so that a bullet can hit there. Finally getting some usage out of the slowed down bullet mechanic that didn't really see outside of dungeons prior to this point. I told you, the chests are getting more and more complex, and here you're just incorporating stuff from like the final room from each of the dungeons into getting. I don't even remember exactly what this thing is. It's just regular chests, I suppose. There's not even anything like real amazing or real incredible. So that is, I mean, hey, it's definitely a step up in it's definitely a step up in difficulty. Parkour, man. I mean, that was my fault and everything, but still, every time, I have to keep that in every time I do it, just because it is important that you see when it happens and that you get that same sort of feeling of, oh, okay. Now that it's just a trek back up there, it's not like I need to solve all the puzzles again, but still. Cross sandwiches, which I'm probably going to be getting a lot of usage out of in the last area if I'm going to take a guess. And you can also grind those up too. It's not too difficult. Grind them up into a paste and then use that as like a topping for your pizza. You know how it goes. You've made a sandwich before. Maybe not a croissant sandwich, though. Or maybe you have. Tell me about it in the comments section. No, do it. It'll be funny. Yeah, figuring out that you can jump on top of that... Figuring out that you can jump on top of that rock there to get over here was the first big hurdle. And then that's what I was talking about, where it's like, that's clearly not the intended thing. And I don't think that is the intended thing. I think what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to jump downwards on each one of those gates and then jump to the right, because there's a little outcropping there that you can see that looks like it would be the perfect length to jump onto. I did the spin. I don't think it's a glitch. I think it's like just a tactic to probably used by a lot of speedrunners, I would think, to get over there instead. Tremor engine, which you get 4 of those things, and you can make an all-right weapon item. You can only get it from chests, though. 1 of them in Guy's Garden, and they need 3 of them for the upgrade you get in here. I did do that. It's like the seismic splitter, I think it's called. And it's decent. But for something that requires 4 gold chests, I kind of almost expected something a little bit better. Oh well. Certainly, stuff like the Tengu Mask, for example, though, on the other hand, did just get almost immediately outclassed without even trying. It was like not even a thing. That one, which I had opened up for quite a while, but couldn't really do anything with it until this section in particular because of the very idiosyncratic way that I decided to create these episodes. I stick by it. I mean, I'm now using the same sort of format for doing a redo. A redo, it's... I don't even know how to describe the Dead Cells series. It's just called Dead Cells in the playlist if you want to go look it up. I'm sure that probably by the time anybody actually gets to this part of the episode, it will probably be entirely finished. Thanks, Arantarda. I really appreciate it. Also, I hate you all. So yes, exterminating a couple spiders later, get up here. Which is sort of a shortcut. Lets you go from the carved pathway to like the twisty tunnels or whatever that place was called. Which is helpful. But you do need to go through a lot of work to actually open up the shortcut in the first place. And the shortcut is also, done in a way where you need to go from one side to the other, much like I did getting into that one path earlier. I don't remember which one that was called. Once again, using the slow down bullets. This is right next to the test of patience, which was, I still think, a lot of fun. And then, yeah, just opens that up. Not anything even all that interesting. No terraforming cliffs this time. By the way, that, I suppose we'll see in the next episode that, the bamboo tapping thingy, the sonic spike. I guess that is a part of the thing that I was talking about. Anyway, part of the, sonic splitter. But yeah, you'll find out that thing does have an enemy entry. Because I guess technically by waiting it out, by doing the trial, you did defeat it? Sure. Omnilock. Mostly notable because I really like the description it gets, which is a highly advanced lock that can be opened by any key of existence. It's used for combining each one of the various chest plates. The bronze chest plate made of bronze chests, the silver chest plate made of silver chests, gold chest plate that I got back in Bergen Trail from one of the golden chests that it took me a long time to go get. You can combine those all into the plate of chests, which gives you increased item drops. It's also an okay piece of equipment too. Decent defense. But yeah, it's important to get that for that thing in particular. And then yeah, this is what I was talking about, where you should just jump down each one of the gates, and that's what you probably need to do that thing before, which I didn't. Very succinctly said myself. And then last chest there, but there is still plenty more to begin. Oh, and yeah, one of the things I didn't even mention is that there is an infinite version of the spider pit. Yeah, this is that shortcut that I was talking about. I don't know why I didn't just get this when I was getting the chest earlier, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta go from the other side to do that, and then that will open up, like I said, the shortcut that I was talking about. Yeah, there is an infinite version of fighting the spiders and everything like that, but it's not an actual quest, it's just kind of like a for fun type of thing. You don't actually do a quest to do it, so I decided, whatever. it does start introducing some of the fire spiders, the fire electric spiders that I saw going into the Ket and Dakar quest, but that's about it. It's otherwise just an infinite fight. Go for a high score, I guess. You do get a cool achievement for lasting like 5 minutes in there, but 5 minutes against the pit of spiders, but it's not, like I said, it's not anything that I think is really important to show. I told you that this sort of thing would be appearing a couple times. Remember that at the end of that, you don't jump onto the ground and try to run over to the buttons. You instead go back around that little U-shaped side on the left there and just jump over each one of the pillars. That's kind of important, and that's where I messed that up a couple times. And then I think this is near the old dojo. You get accosted by 4 different enemies. Given the amount of times that I've seen that now, not a big deal. Yeah, if only just for getting a mark on enemies. I think that is very, very useful. That said, if you don't immediately have... Sure, that works. Probably not the intended way to do it, but... Hey, who can say what's intended when the result is the same anyway? So yeah, get a decent item out of that though. The War Keeper is like level 60. You can see it was purple colored because it is that high a level. I mean, it seems like basically, you know, white is your common type of equipment. Then you get like silver, gold background, which is legendary. But green, which is backer reward. And then purple, which is like level 60 plus. Super endgame equipment. Which is something I never actually mentioned up until this point, but yeah, there is like rarity in everything in this game. It doesn't really matter ultimately because, you know, I'm doing 100% of everything anyway. But it is, you know, like gold chests are more likely to contain gold equipment, for example. And, but, you know, gold chests can also contain like a bunch of silver items that are just kind of like rare drops from, say, botanics, which is nice. I know one of the things that I didn't include was me falling down at that point trying to get up there earlier, which, as always, as I said, it happens a lot now, doesn't it? Well, that's the easier of the 2 chests, get in this area. It's, the other one is another one of these slow down bullet puzzle type of deals. Which is, you know, difficult, but it's certainly nothing compared to the clockwork like accuracy it feels like you need to have for each one of the ends of the dungeons. So I guess I can be happy with that. Also, enemies don't attack you in here, which does make a bit more of a difference too. Just the way that I can kind of, you know, shove these spiders out of the way is satisfying in its own way. Thankfully, it does kind of auto-adjust whenever you hit one of the like I guess you'd call them like one-way bullet things. I don't even know what you call those. Well, anyway, so you don't have to be super accurate with it, but as long as you're at least a little bit accurate, you'll be totally fine. Here, I believe this is another example of running along the tops of... Well, that's another example of difficult perspective. And I'm sure there's also another easier way to do that too, but I got the pixel exactly right. But yeah, running along the tops of the gates here, which is something that doesn't really seem like you can do it, and I don't think it comes up in anywhere except for the end game, you know, optional quests or anything like that. So at least it's not something that, you know, you need a big tutorial about or anything. Looks like you might have been able to make that jump, but thankfully you can just go around here instead, which is good for my sanity, if nothing else. Just a bunch of mystery grapes. The description for that is, what flavor is it? You gotta eat it to find out. You can't eat those, by the way. just want to make that absolutely clear. Also, I guess that would be the other way to go do it. Just jump down there. Well, I don't know if you could from that place. Well, anyway, Burglar's Rope, I think, is another one of those items that gives you extra credits whenever you kill enemies, or lets you craft that up. Oh, and this one, I actually need to go get the chestnut, which is what you get for getting all the chests in the game. Yeah, that previous one, pretty obvious when you think about it. because I never even tried jumping down into that area. But it's like I need to have the chest finder to even figure out where to go for that. That was the last chest I got in the entire game, and it's not even like the most difficult one. No, talking about the most difficult ones, here is crawling around the final notch dungeon. I guess this is probably what they were referring to with eventually putting this with a future update including this. But hey, at least the beginning of it, just getting the chests from this part provides a pretty good challenge. I mean, trying to figure out invisible switches where you can, where you have to step on to go and get a teleporter to appear, a warp point to appear, is just more difficult than it should be. Oh, well, I figured it out. I guess when you say that that's what you need to do, it becomes obvious, but I didn't think that it was going to appear anywhere else except for each one of the columns, which is why, I mean, the little point that I was trying to figure out what was going on there is just a very small example of the confusion I felt trying to find this thing. It appears just off screen as well. That's, yeah, this one was a difficult one to figure out. And then, yeah, and that one, like, small tranquility garden that you find at the end of the area. You get the dream globe, which is used for creating the booster for this area. Yeah, you gotta basically beat the entire game before you can get that final booster. Which, fine, that's reasonable. Not that I like it. And this I did just shortly before finishing up the Cat in the Car quest, because it's easy to just get across to the other side, get this chest. Not too easy to hit everything else around there. I mean, that and the one where you just got some spider webs from a dusty area in the inn took me a while just because, I don't know, I thought I already got that chest, basically. This is another one right in the Cat in the Car area. You gotta go a little bit out of your way, but, I mean, it's far from the worst. Usually, you know, if you get a comment from one of your party members that you have found quite a difficult chest. It's the easiest metric for, I think, how the developer views their own creation. All right, and finally, there's just 8 chests in Rhombus Square, of which you need to, I mean, just mostly jump around on top of the buildings, which is not too bad. More warp point appearing stuff, but at least the camera panned over to let me know about that one. And then there's kind of a new-ish mechanic. I mean, the way that there are a bunch of cars driving around, there's actually a unique type of death that you get for dying to traffic. And that, and really it's the fact that you can jump on top of cars that you got to figure out to get all the chests here. And that one person who was carrying around the umbrella, I guess they're a base and keep native, and they say that it's just like, if only more seekers would jump into the water to remind me of what it's like to have rain on my umbrella. I didn't include the part where I acquiesced to her request, but, you know, that is an important thing to mention nonetheless. Radical Fish is the developer of the game. And also, I guess that's getting the name drop of the developer is at the end of that guy's quest line? Well, quote-unquote quest line. Yeah, there. Because this is the only place that you get the large trucks appearing, and you need to use that to get over to this area. It took me a little bit to figure out, but the fact they have like a small area that you can jump off onto traffic there. I mean, I figured out you could jump on top of the cars just by jumping into the traffic a whole bunch of times. So yeah, I looked it up. That Turing is one of the main characters of Read-Only Memories, which originally did come out for the Ouya, apparently, but then was ported to a bunch of other platforms after that. So yeah, there's the reference. As it turns out, I was right. And yeah, all I need to do is just jump upwards there to find that final plant. But to be honest, don't tell anyone. I mean, if you've been watching this for 3 hours, I trust you. I did look up that final plant. That's the only thing I looked up in the game. But like, I was just like, man, I wanna just finish up the game already. It's like, I don't know where this thing is. It's somewhere in Rhombus Square, but it could be anywhere. Anyway, some more jumping on top of stuff, and that is also where you get the large ember. And there we go. Quest chests 100% completed. Next time, the finale.